With an unmarked runway that's only 6,000 feet long and no air traffic control, North Eleuthera Island in the Bahamas is one of the most unique and challenging airports that we fly into. It's seriously unusual to find an airport like this with Part 121 airline service, especially in jets. So in this video, I'll detail some of the unique challenges and procedures that we deal with as pilots to fly into this airport. And also, I heard our agents there will bring you amazing fresh seafood from a restaurant right across the street, which we're definitely going to be trying out. Hey, can you put in an order for 2 of the conch fritters for when we get in for the crew, and we'll walk over and pick it up?
Okay, 2 orders of conch fritters.
Envoy 3511, cross runway turbulence, turn right heading 120, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Right heading 120, clear for takeoff, 8 right, envoy 3511.
At a total of 197 nautical miles, the 1-hour flight from Miami to North Eleuthera is a pretty average flight for the Embraer 145. We departed Miami on the Skips 2 departure before climbing to our cruise altitude of 23,000 feet. The route takes you over Bimini Island, just to the north of Andros Island, with a final descent beginning over the beautiful Berry Islands and miles of bright blue sandbars. Around this point, we were handed off to Nassau Approach Control that gave us a descent clearance to around 2,000 feet.
Nassau Approach, envoy 3511, 14.3 down to 13,000.
Envoy 3511, Nassau approach, descend 2,000, your discretion, advise canceling.
Continue descent down to 2,000 feet, we'll advise envoy 3511.
North Eleuthera is a fully VFR Class Echo airport for us with no control tower or radar coverage. On our navigation charts, you'll see the Class Echo airspace depicted to the surface in a slightly different way than back in the United States. We have to cancel our IFR clearance once the airport is in sight and fly a visual approach to either runway 7 or runway 25. Now, let's talk a little bit about the airport itself. North Eleuthera is one of the most unusual airports we fly into as a Part 121 air carrier. There's an RNAV GPS approach to runway 7, although it can only be used as guidance and flown under VFR. We will never be cleared for an IFR approach into North Eleuthera. There's no instrument approach published for runway 25, which is used less frequently when the trade winds are switched around. All traffic uses the CTAF frequency 122.8, which is shared by about a dozen neighboring islands. And yes, the frequency does get very, very busy. Every time I've flown into North Eleuthera, there's been a constant stream of general aviation, charter, and airline traffic.
North Eleuthera traffic at the King Air, we're 12 miles west. 10 miles from land and runway 7, A traffic in the pattern.
North Eleuthera traffic, envoy 3511, we're in midfield left downwind for runway 25, regional jet.
Oh, is that the runway they're using, the 25?
It looks like it. We just got a weather update that says the wind's out of about 210 at 10.
All right, we'll come out behind you then.
Thank you, sir.
I've been flying with a Bose A20 headset for years, and beyond keeping my hearing safe for decades to come, it gives me great situational awareness when I'm flying into busy airports just like North Eleuthera. The noise canceling helps me pick up the most important radio calls I'm listening to, which is critical, especially at this airport with no air traffic control. My headset is one of the most important pieces of equipment that I fly with, and I can't recommend using a Bose headset enough. Paying close attention to position reports from other pilots in the pattern is extremely important here. The airport's single runway is 6,000 feet long by 100 feet wide and looks a little different than most of the runways we normally fly into in the United States. There's no visual approach guidance from a PAPI or VASI, so this airport is a great spot to reinforce all of your basic hands-on visual flying skills. There's only one taxiway turnoff big enough for our jet, just around halfway down the runway. Although it lacks some of the standardization you might find back in the United States, Eleuthera is a safe challenge for us as pilots.
Thank you. Okay guys, what do you think? Was it worth it?
So good.
Definitely?
So worth it.
I think it was worth it. I haven't done something like this in a long time. Okay, North Eleuthera is seriously tiny. Check this out. This is the entire ramp. Obviously no jet bridges. That's the terminal. That's the only fire truck, and that's customs. Sometimes you'll see up to 3 regional jets squeezed in right here. And the runway is right at the end of the ramp.
On departure, our station agents manually print out our weight and balance and takeoff performance reports since ACARS isn't available on the island. A back taxi down the runway is required with a tight turnaround at either end. Again, it's extremely important to pay close attention to the uncontrolled CTAF frequency, as there might be multiple arrivals and departures for the single runway. We're expected to depart fully VFR and climb to at least 7,000 feet under VFR to be able to reach Miami Center before copying an IFR clearance back to Miami. I've had to climb VFR as high as 14,000 feet before getting an answer from Miami Center. In the rare case that you have to depart at night due to a delay, you must get in touch with Nassau Departure Control on the ground because you're not allowed to fly VFR at night in the Bahamas, and the airport management will go ahead and turn on the runway lights for your departure. Once you're back on an IFR flight plan to Miami, everything returns to normal for the rest of the short flight.
Flying to somewhere like North Eleuthera Island is extremely unusual, and whenever I see Bahamas flying in some of our bid packets out of O'Hare, I go for it because, man, especially in the winter, it is so nice to come down here, do something a little bit different and avoid all the snowstorms up north.